Alright, welcome back to Rogue Trader, and what I want to do this episode is I want to close out Footfall, talk to my companions, and then I want to head out into the void. I want to start exploring, but first let's read this letter from the Inquisitor, Xavier Calcazar. May the Emperor's faithful forever remain in the light of his favour. Let me first express my condolences on the tragic death of the most honourable Theodora von Valancius. Bullshit, she was most honourable. Anyway, very nice of him to be polite. He's being polite, even though I imagine I have to read between the lines that he knows, and I know that she wasn't entirely on the level. Nevertheless, I was elated to learn the warrant of the Rogue Trader has been passed to a worthy and promising heir. These words are not hollow compliments, but rather the Inquisition's official opinion of your person. Oh, that's good. I'm assuming that's because of the way I finished the Rykad Minoris thing. As fate would have it, you have taken the reins of the von Valancius dynasty in an hour most dire, when the grim portents of dark events... I'm going to have to use info to see all this. I have been duty-bound to become the first sentinel who sees the approaching threat, and I hereby alert you that it is indeed coming. Our loyalty and resolve will be tested. People such as you and I will become the pillars that will unite the Emperor's frightened children and inspire them to fight back. And so I greet you as my dependable ally and assure you of my favour. From now on, you have a trusted friend within the holy orders of the Emperor's Inquisition, and a receptive confidant on whom you can rely. Should the dark times ahead require you to make questionable choices, have no doubt that such an incident will be examined in an exceedingly temperate fashion that rules out the most radical. He's not going to execute me if I have to walk the line in order to get things done. He's saying go do what you have to do. Go do Rogue Trader things. So, you know, go work with Xenos or whatever it is you have to do. Just get the job done, and in exchange, I'm saying I won't shoot you. Now, he could be lying, but that is how I read this. I have faith in the success of our partnership and thank you for your contribution, both past and future. Inquisitor Xavier Calcazar. Well, that's really promising. A friend in the Inquisition would be a good thing to have. Of course, like I said, it's the Inquisition. It could all be bullshit, but that's a really promising thing for a Lord Inquisitor to be saying. So let's go talk to Heinrichs. Alright, so we'll have a chat with Heinrichs. What do you got for us, mate? Now that you're back on the ship. Heinrich says, thank you for finding the opportunity to talk. I trust now would be a good time to explain my reason for returning aboard your ship. I welcome the chance to assist the Inquisition with its inquiries. To business then, the cult of the final dawn. The madmen preached their heretical doctrine. Once such crime took place in your protectorate, the Lord Inquisitor considered it necessary to have one of his acolytes accompany the Rogue Trader on the voyage to the corrupted region. I also need to meet with one of my observers on the capital world of your domain. I'll talk about the letter from the Lord Inquisitor at the moment, but let's firstly do Lore Imperium here. Why would the Ordos Xenos investigate a Chaos cult? Yes, initially he was dictator. Okay. The cult is tangentially related to his specialization, which is hunting aliens. Perhaps I'll be able to reveal the full truth someday, but right now I ask you to display humility and patience, which means there might be Xenos involved in some way, but the cult so far has been very chaosy, very sinchy. A chaos cult in my protectorate, Heinrichs, you like? No, I don't want to push against him. I'm not going to say you have spies on Von Valancius. Of course he's got spies. He'd be really bad at his job if he didn't have spies on my world. And if I look offended at that, then I'm being offended at their very purpose, which is an affront to the purpose of the Inquisition, right back to their founding. And my entire existence relies on the rights that come from my founding and my document and the signature of the Emperor on my writ. So, yeah, my warrant of trade. So I can ask more about the cult, or I can talk about the letter. Let's talk about the letter. Because the letter, well, I think we just saw that a moment ago. But, yeah, it was surprisingly lenient in terms of its offering, although that might just be a political statement the Inquisitor can always go back on. Heinrich says, that is correct. I should show greater tolerance for the mistakes of a newly appointed Rogue Trader. To be frank, I am surprised. The Lord Inquisitor is not the type. The Lord Inquisitor... Did I not notice that? Lord Inquisitor? Lord Inquisitor is a step up. Inquisitor Lords. There are Inquisitors and there are Inquisitors Lords. It's not an entirely formal structure, but to an extent it is, and Inquisitor Lords are the big bad. He's not the type to indulge weakness of the soul and mind, even in someone who only recently accepted the burden of a lofty title. I want to know more about the cult. Chaos Worshippers. However, the cult of it was just telling me about chaos in general, so we can skip that. However, the cult of Final Dawn is something greater than a gaggle of misguided seers and fortune tellers. They cleverly spread their agents all over the Cronus Expanse, disseminating heresy among honest people on Imperial worlds. Certain strategy to their action that changes whenever we get too close. And finally, they have enough military power to have had the 2 ships. Yeah, so they had enough influence to send ships against us. The growing difficulty in making warp jumps is detrimental to us, but is unlikely to inconvenience those who engage in vile sorcery day in and day out. Which is right, because warp storms that disrupt us don't necessarily disrupt those who navigate not using an ordinary navigator, but by appealing to the whims of the gods of chaos. After the events of Rykar Minoris, I suspected the cult might have built its nest inside Winterscale's domain, but the latest report indicates it is your protectorate that is harbouring the heretics. Being in your entourage improves my chances of getting close to their secrets. Well, if there is a cult in my protectorate, since this is very much not a Redicus playthrough, if it was, this would be that would be very convenient, and you would have to find a way to get rid of the interrogator. But we want them gone, so I've already agreed to give you a place aboard my ship. What else? Rogue Trader should deliver me the system that contains the industrial world of Kiava Gamma. I'll then accompany you to the surface and determine what the cult is planning and how it intends to use the resources that have fallen into their clutches, which may very well include the blessed engines of the Adeptus Mechanicus and even the followers of the Omnissiah themselves. I'll be frank, the answer to the question is unlikely to please either of us. The machinations of chaos usually go beyond solely inflicting countless deaths and destruction. Having their plans come to fruition would lead to far more terrible consequences. One of the systems in the Cronus Expanse is already lost. May the Emperor protect us from watching this tragedy play out again. I have lots of questions here. Starting with, we met a Chaos Space Marine on Rykar Minoris. Do we run the risk of running into his brothers? I have no doubt it will happen sooner or later. Chaos Marine siding with the cult is very, very bad news. Most likely they kept away until recently, pulling the puppet strings from a respectable distance. These traders seldom shop alone. The best we can count on is having to deal with just a squad of Chaos Space Marines in the Cronus Expanse, and not an entire company. Why do your suspicions fall on Kiava Gamma? We already heard rumours about that planet from the refugees, but he's saying he has data as well. Making me fear a planet-wide rebellion. So the 2 planets I'm worried about, by the way, are Kiava Gamma and the Agri-World. The Agri-World, because they said it has no fleet defences, and no one mentions, in a game, people who mention it's Chekhov's gun. If they mention the planet has no fleet defences and could be raided, I want to get there and establish fleet defences. And Kiava Gamma is clearly close to a Chaos Uprising or in the middle of one, which is a problem. I won't let anyone throw their weight around my world, be they servants of Chaos, Xenos, or heretics. A commendable aspiration for a person who holds the fates of billions of people and dozens of Imperial worlds in his hands, which is why you need to be ever more vigilant when looking for seeds of corruption on your planets, lest they sprout someday. Now I'm going to ask him about the Drukhari. He's just given me background on the Drukhari, which I can relay myself at the appropriate time. Yep, this is all Drukhari background. I do not know why the Drukhari stole Rykar's son. Well, you're not very good at your job then. And brought about the fulfillment of the cult's prophecies. Perhaps the Xenos themselves have played into the arch-enemy's designs, or perhaps Aurora's divinations, in fact, described the Drukhari's actions. So only one thing I can say with absolute certainty, there is no alliance between the cult of the Final Dawn and the Xenos. It is simply impossible. So I've just said, hey, let's wind this up, and he's saying, look, let me put it this way. You may think whatever you want of me, but my goal is not to hinder you. I'm here to help you. Yeah, I don't think it's to hinder me, mate. I want you to get chaos off my planets. It'd be nice for you to get them off my ship, too. Yeah, my word, I'll provide every assistance in uprooting the heresy that is sprouted in the Von Valancius worlds while their master was away, and that I will try to be more patient with the less grievous flaws the bearers of the warrant are sometimes known to have. Thank you for sparing the time, Lord Captain. Well, hopefully I got some cred for making the right call on Rykar Minoris. I'm going to dump some quest items into the safe just to declutter the inventory and go from here. I also think talking to Jay might be a good idea.
Allow me to thank you again for helping me with the cargo, Sherin. I am sure the Ashmags who squirreled away my goods won't give up so easily, and I'll hear more about their scheming yet. Let's strike a deal, Shireen. I will watch your back if you do me a favor and watch mine. Well, enough jokes. Is there something you wanted?
I want you to know that I don't trust you as far as I can throw you. I'm recruiting you because you are useful. Anything you do outside the bounds of the protection of my warrant is illegal, and if at any point you betray me, I'm going to space you. But I can't say that, I'm assuming. So let's instead, and I don't want to say that because I want to be very diplomatic, but that's the reality of my position towards her. She is a criminal who is dealing in alien artifacts. That could be very useful to me, who is allowed to deal in alien artifacts, and has just had an Inquisitor say that they are going to be tolerant of my actions anyway. And there's a lot of profit factor and useful equipment and influence to be had here, plus Kasbalika, influencing Kasbalika would be great, which she might help me do. But no, I don't trust her. But that doesn't mean we can't be nice in order to try and win her over. Tell me about the dark side of the Coronis Expanse.
The dark side is the real Coronis Expanse, if you ask me. But what do you want to know about it, Shireen?
How do they do things on football?
Dynasties drink with criminals. Rogue traders strike deals with the Kasbalika. And dozens of ships stop off for a welcome break from a long voyage. Is there a more beautiful place in the entire Imperium? The Emperor is merciful to the meek and the powerful alike. There's a job for everyone as long as they have a head on their shoulders. And if you feel like talking to him in person, the statue of the Exalted One can be seen from any asteroid. You can pray to your heart's content.
Tell me about the Kasbalika mission.
An ancient crime cartel that originated with the first settlers of the Calixis sector. It is run by shadowy clans with robber barons at the helm. Cross their path, and you risk making enemies all over the Coronis Expanse, or even the entire Imperium. As for the agents, they are just shameless, greedy scum.
Oh, there you go.
Every third person on footfall is a Kasbalikan.
That's the impression I was getting.
That rotten filth is acting together. I've been set up more than once just so some Kasbalikan can get one over on his rivals. And yet, the Kasbalika is generous to its customers, if you can afford it. Anything can be obtained, organized, and transported for the right price. The customer is always right, unless they happen to be a rat. In which case...
I'm guessing they cross them off. Okay, persuasion test succeeded. Scum, rotten filth, rats. It's almost as if Jay's marks briefly slipped when she started using words that have no place in the vocabulary of someone from the upper strata of the Imperium. Are you one of the barons? I imagine not.
What gave you such an outrageous idea?
I didn't actually think so. I'm just asking to be polite, to give you an inflated view of what I think of you.
I will let you know once I become a baroness, should the Exalted One will it. Just imagine the strong and fruitful alliance that could be forged between a rogue trader and a mastermind of the Kasbalika.
This is true. And then I would have to make the decision and have a chat with the Inquisitor as to whether or not they'd like to co-opt your organization or burn it to the ground. But, like, again, we're not on a crusade. We have to re-establish our protectorate. We've got a mission. As a rogue trader, we are not an Inquisitor. Our goal is not to go out and hunt this sort of stuff. We can snitch to the Inquisition. That's there as an option. But the role of the rogue traders is to be able to bend the rules, to be flexible, to push the boundaries of humanity forward, and they require that flexibility to operate on those boundaries. Right now it sounds like the Coronis Expanse is in a bit of a tough way, and maybe they need a little bit of that flexibility. Let's ask how she became a Kasbalikan agent.
It's not hard to do on footfall. I spent a year working for good old Christo. He was a brave soldier who gave up the ghost in a scuffle with orcs, and then took over his business. Having a good head on your shoulders and keeping the Exalted One in your heart helps to establish new contacts quickly. Eventually, I gathered together a group of honest and loyal people. And it only took a few successful contracts for the Kasbalika to take notice. I quickly settled on footfall and started dispensing my wisdom to my protégés and subordinates. I lost the taste for getting my hands dirty.
Okay, and let's ask about the coal trade. The coal trade is the trade in Xenos artifacts.
It really is simple, Shireen. The Kasbalika runs the Imperium's black market, offering special goods to those who can afford their services. Yes, I am talking about Xeno artifacts too. Alien weapons, technology, Sometimes
If you're wondering
even
why I'm
certain
chiller
kinds
about
of
Xenos
living
artifacts, I'm not completely
creatures.
chill about them. There are some really dangerous ones out there, but generally, whereas everything chaos is a bad idea all the time, when you're talking about alien technology, sometimes a knife is just a knife, sometimes a rifle is just a rifle. If you were to pick up a Tau pulse rifle, for example, it's not going to possess you. It's not going to cause you to violently disassemble yourself into your constituent components unless you shoot yourself with it or cause it to overload. It's just technology by another name.
Unlike the rogue traders whose
Not
sacred
always the case, but
warrants make them
sometimes the
immune
case.
even from the laws of the Exalted One, Kasbalican agents are used to hiding and covering their tracks. Nobody wants to draw unwanted attention, no matter who might take an interest. Especially now that the Coronis Expanse has a warrior of the Golden Throne as its watchman. Why not?
So we'll
The
change the
decision is yours,
subject.
Sherry.
I'll ask about Theodora, and then she wanted to talk business.
It is difficult not to be aware of the powers that be, especially ones like Lord Captain Theodora. But we never met personally, as the difference between our positions was far too great. Theodora was a mighty ruler, the center of her own universe. And I, a pathetic commoner, was nothing next to her. But you were kind to me, Shireen. And in my eyes, that put you above your esteemed aunt, or whoever she was to you.
Yes, my vaguely heretical extended relation. You said there was some business you wanted to discuss.
Oh, Shireen, I did manage to spark your interest. Allow me to invite you to a more private place. My words are meant for your ears alone.
Okay. I'm less comfortable chatting to you than I was with Heinrichs, to be honest. But tell me, hey, she's bowing. Good sign. Shireen, the Exalted One himself brought us together the day you crossed Bladime's threshold. He led us to the cargo, gave us his blessing in return. Do you know what people on my world say when such a thing happens? What's gained is to be shared with your neighbor. Ooh, she points at the containers in front of her. I assume these are these containers here. One contains a polished Eldari rifle, a rare model, and the other holds an ornate sword. I'm sharing what I have gained with you. Please accept these humble gifts in honor of our wildly successful and suddenly struck friendship. Wanderer's Portent. Wanderer's Portent is an Eldari long rifle. Can only perform Deadeye shot. Whenever they score a critical hit, they gain an additional attack. Whoa, okay. We'll have a look at that, but I don't think anyone has Eldari weapon proficiency except for you, Jay. But Jay, you might use that. Like, stuff your pistols. And then Bloodseeker Clive. This is a Dark Eldar. This is a, Drukhari. This is a Drukhari one-handed melee weapon, which we'll also look at afterwards. I can say you consider these gifts my lowliest enforcers are equipped with deadlier weapons than this. See, that's funny, but it's obviously untrue. Like, those are good weapons. I can say, yet more Xeno heresy. You have a nerve trying to peddle this filth to its true servant of the Emperor. We're in private. I want her to Xenos trade for me so that I can understand, track, infiltrate Xenos, gather information, gather technology, destroy the ones that are dangerous, and co-opt the ones that aren't. So no, I'm not going to insult her. If she crosses the line at any point, absolutely. Trial by Lasgun is absolutely an option, but for the moment, let's say a truly wonderful gift, I accept it with gratitude. Okay, she's happy with that. So the matter I wanted to discuss with you is related to my business. You know that I sell Xeno artifacts to interested in Imperial subjects and Imperial trinkets to Xenos. Business is going well, my network runs even without my participation, but when it comes to expansion, that is where I hit a wall. Rivals envious of my success. See, I'm happy to, I can destroy her rivals. If I can work with one black market trader to destroy some other black market traders, on net, there are fewer black market traders, as long as she doesn't consolidate and become too powerful. But if she does, as long as we keep her under our thumb, and I know it's a risk, but as long as we do, it's better than the status quo. This is me ranting about how to properly leverage the fact that we are a rogue trader to try and do the right thing by the people, by our planets, by our empire, and to fulfill the original mission of the rogue trader by getting our hands a little bit dirty without just losing sight of what we're trying to achieve. Anyway, what does she want? I can say if you were slightly less useful to me, I would have brought you to justice myself. I think I follow, you wish to use me, or go on. I think I follow, you wish to use me. Let's just put a little bit of a check there, maybe. She's basically trying to deflect. If the Rogue Trader were to put in a good word with me with the servants of the Adeptus Administratum, I would become an official trade representative of the Imperium. Just imagine it, a little scrap of paper will offer me and my agents protection against Ashmag's schemes far better than any refractor field. And even the Inquisition will have to think twice before they mess with me, because I'll be a representative of the law in my own right. And the best part of all this is it will cost you nothing, Shireen. All you have to do is stop by the Administratum Palace and obtain a certificate from your Master of Seals. My informants tell you that the palace is located in Dargonus, your capital world. How do I benefit from your gaining official status? Besides being in receipt of my eternal gratitude, Shireen, won't it be beneficial to have someone in your retinue with the weight of authority behind them rather than just another pawn? I'm not sure. Once the paper and I'll be able to extend my networks of spies far beyond footfall, my agents will be eyes and ears for you throughout the expanse. Well, can't be worse than Conrad. I shall take this into consideration. Perhaps your thoughts will move in the right direction with a little encouragement from me, Shireen. See, if you just give him stuff straight away, like, you may not have got this. I don't know. I don't know what the conversation tree is, but I don't want to... I don't want her to think that I am a pushover, because I'm not, and I want her to remember that she works for me without outright threatening her life, because outright threatening her life seems like a great way to encourage her to seek alternative employment, which would be a problem because she is, as I said, probably quite slippery. Perhaps your thoughts move in the right direction with a little encouragement from me, Shireen. You must have a faction in mind that you would like to establish relations with. The Drusians, the pirates, or the Kasbalika. You merely need to use the right words, like a key for a lock, and people will open their hearts to you or their wallets. I will arrange everything, you merely need to ask. This is going to be Kasbalika or Drusians. I mean, I imagine she can open some pretty good drawers with the Kasbalika, but I want that heavy bolter, so go make the Drusians like me. There we are, not a problem, Shireen. I'll have my people put in a good word with you in the right circles. 2,000 faction reputation. Thank you. Alright, let's have a look at this loot. Where's my Eldari long rifle? Wanderer's 20 to 25 damage, 30 dodge reduction, 20 additional hit chance, can only do Deadeye Shot, but it does Deadeye Shot for 1 AP! That's insane! Oh, Argenta will never want to know how to use Eldari weapons, but Jay, you can use Eldari weapons. These are so much better than your Shuriken pistols. Like, so much better. I mean, you do have rate of fire 6 on them, though. Shuriken and Splinter. I think what we have to do here is we can ditch... Like, I'm not sure you're ever... I like the... the melee weapon is cool, but your weapon skill is trash. So what we're going to do is we're going to double up. We're going to go Shuriken pistol. We're going to go dual-wielded pistols as your backup. And we might even... For the moment, I've given you +5 damage and +5 critical hit chance with single shot and Deadeye Shot. Oh, Jay, you just became a sniper. An officer sniper, but a sniper. Just like me, but probably better as a shot than Perun, because the rifle is just better. And then you can put a lot of rounds downrange burst firing. With the Shuriken. Yeah. Okay, nice. And I gave her the interrogation joggle. So +5 Law Xenos to push her up to 90 and 10% hit chance against Xenos. Fantastic. Alright, I'm happy with that. So let's drop a save, go back to Footfall, clean up any final tests there, and then let's head out into the void. Okay, there wasn't much business on Footfall, so I think it is finally time to start travelling. Let us hit the sector map, because I've been waiting to see this for a while. Oh, this is cool. This is cool. This is also vaguely familiar. Let me just orient myself. Oh, it's done as a map. Beautiful. Okay, Unbeholden Reaches. Bad things happen over in the Unbeholden Reaches. God Emperor Scourge. The Foundling Worlds. That's the Cauldron. I'm just trying to orient. So does that mean the Moor is... Sorry, let's chart new routes. Beautiful. Okay, so that makes that the Maw. That says to the Imperium. So that's the Maw into the Calixis sector. I have no clue if we can go into the Calixis sector. It would be a bit weird for a game about Rogue Trader if we could go there, but that would be cool. Winterscale's Realm was the biggest Rogue Trader area. And then it's sort of a bastion. It's sort of a bastion against the Heathen Stars and the Accursed Domain. Like basically the further you go out from Footfall, the worse things are. I'm going to assume that the color here is the quality of the warp route, and that if we're going somewhere that we're not, I'm guessing that if we go through a bad warp route, there is more chance of something bad happening. I also don't know what area our systems of choice are in, so I feel like charting things out might actually be a good thing. Like, none of these are showing as... I mean, I can check my journal quickly. What do we want to do? Chapter... Reclaim what was lost. Yeah, they're not describing what system they're in. So I'm guessing we're going to have to explore, regardless of our priorities. So, should we do the I think we're going to take the predictable thing. Oh, okay, yeah, so warp travel... Oh, and we can spend Navigator Insight. Navigator Insight is a special resource acquired by exploring the Expanse by scanning new systems, anomalies, or participating in non-combat space events. Navigator of the flagship uses it to build warp routes as well as make existing warp routes more safe and stable. Okay, so if we're going to be taking a route a lot, we can spend Navigator Insight not just to chart new routes, but to make existing ones safer. So we should take the existing safe one... Visit. We don't need to chart new routes because we have lots of places to travel to, but it looks like we can chart from new systems using our expertise. That's really, really cool. Let's see what's in system. We have some pirates, some space dust, some Hulk, and a space dust. Well, you know what that means. I might do the non-combat encounters, but I love a good combat encounter. Okay, so space dust was just fuel. I'll also check my ship crew in a moment to make sure we've got the max. More fuel. So it's just loot so far. Let's just check posts. Perun is the best possible commander. Argenta is the best possible gunner. Pascal is the best possible shield master. Abelard is still just the best possible master of maneuvers. The best warp channeler is once again Heinrichs, since he's back on the crew. Law warp. So we need to upgrade his law warp skill to make him better at that job. And Master of Etherics with 100 awareness is obviously our navigator. Let's have a look at this. Hulk. Oh, it was a rumoured ship. Okay, there we are. Chartress Monocle. This monocle grants the bearer a 15 bonus to commerce. Okay, so we can swap... Basically, these are stat boosters that we can swap to. So we're currently wearing a plus 20 coercion, but if we know we're going to do a commerce check, so if we can back out of a conversation, we can then swap to a 15 bonus to commerce to test commerce at 120, which would be pretty nifty. Let's go fight some pirates. Okay, looks like I've just gone past the loading screen, and we are looking at 3 Cobras this time. Are they once again the weird Cobras? Yeah, they're weird Cobras. I wonder why we're fighting weird Cobras and not things that are equipped with macro cannons. Alright, so let's look at the chart. Let's predict people's courses here. Cobra here has to spend most of its movement working out this way. Cobra 3 has to, at most, spend its movement working out this way and then can turn, and I think it will turn. What do we want to engage? I think we want to destroy these first, and I think we can probably do it. I do think it is torpedoes first. Based on past experience, I do think it is torpedoes first. The other option is to turn into this one, launch torpedoes towards it, knowing it has to make the swing if it wants to engage us, and then knowing the torpedoes can probably make the hit. These mobility, what's their mobility? They're going to be pretty mobile little shits. Because what I was thinking there is launching torps, spinning and then launching torps at the end of the movement is probably going to lead to the Cobra overshooting. So if anything, I actually prefer this,
Torpedoes locked.
even if it means they're going to be running a little long. We can advance here, which should give us our dorsal macros.
Macro cannons, volley.
We can engage prows.
Fire the lance batteries.
We can then spin. Engage with starboards.
Fire right now.
Good kill. Good kill. What do I arrange on our ports? Yes, that would put us in range. Let's go with range with our ports.
Leave their hull strewn across the stars.
And then, do we want to stay out of range of this Cobra, even though it means we're going to have difficulty turning around? Or do we want to extend out? I think we want to put distance from that Cobra, even if it means that our prows are not going to be addressed next turn. Hopefully this works, and I look smart, not dumb for what I just did. But you notice he couldn't take a shot that turn. That's those are more accurate engagements than we have previously had to deal with. Plasma torps. Plasma torps have excellent tone. We're going to engage this one because we're then going to head on this guy. So we've got this motion here, swing run. Which lets us go to the end of our... do a maximum speed burn and then spin. Which means we can end head on. And our voids that were off to the side, we don't need to regenerate. Do I want to reduce speed and firing range by 2 in order to reinitiate the voids on that side? I don't think I do. Ship, I am trying to make you go forward. Can you not? Okay, it insists on making me wanting me to make a little turn, so I will do that. Cobra will come in, engage me on my strong side. We have dorsals. I think we'll be able to... yeah, okay. Just checking that our engagement arc is going to be his forwards. I think it is. So we'll get an engagement with our dorsal battery, with our lance battery. No? Let me just check this. So it's 2 and then it's 3. So if I'm here... 1, 2. This might get a little bit... nope, this works. Dorsal batteries. Macros fire. Lance batteries fire. Nice close pass. Starboard batteries fire. 48 scrap, some of which we're going to have to use to repair, unfortunately, but we took 6 ancient machinery void trophies, which we can hand over to the Imperial Navy. Alright, so it's time for another jump. I'm thinking we work our way out a little bit further. This is a yellow route to Trinitas. To do that, we'd have to go back by footfall anyway. But I'm assuming I can just immediately add these to cargo. Let me go back to the bridge. I'm going to trade those to the Navy, see if that pushed me up into anything new. And then I'm going to warp out. The answer was no, he needs like 6,000 rep, not 300 additional rep. So I'm thinking... let's push out to Trinitas. It's an uncharted route, and we might be able to scout additional routes from there. Actually, no, we should do what the game wants us to do. Scan is required. What does that mean? What does it mean scan is required? Is there nowhere that I can jump to? Does this change anything? Okay, apparently it does. Route is unsafe. Okay, so by getting a second route to it, I'm going to save the navigator. Sorry, Pascal is telling me something and I'm just trying to pass what he's saying. So what does this mean? Hypothesis in extreme that the ship's spirit is capable of making unpredictable calculations and actions. I knew my ship was special. It is impossible to predict how it will behave in any given situation, but I believe the spirit is currently showing obedience, at least for now. I recommend we continue monitoring the ship and be prepared for new manifestations. Remind me what you wanted to find out. When the ship's warp engines was filled with the motive force despite the massive computational errors, a true technological miracle was achieved. No doubt it was the grace of the Omnissiah, but no such occurrences have been described in the catalogue before. Hoping to gain sacred knowledge of the nature of what has happened, I embarked on blessed research and prayer. The report is received, Pascal. I'm going to assume that meant that we jumped there safely. Alright, we are now in system. Visit. Okay, we are in a new system. We've got a whole bunch of things to scan in terms of planets, and then there's a ship out there which we're going to explore. Actually, no, sorry, it's a ship down here, that's us. So let's scan these places. There's adamantine, and there's a thing to explore. Do I want adamantine? Creating armor, hull plating for void ships, everything that needs to be durable and strong. Resources, adamantine too. Going to come back to that. I have extractums. I can drop one down, and I can explore the hermitage. What is this? Small human dwelling stands on this barren, deserted planet. Scouts report an old hermit lived there. Ask the old hermit for his blessing. The old hermit turns out to be a navigator. When the old man discovered the noble status of his visitor, he willingly recounted his tale. He retreated to this planet long ago when he was still in his youth. The hermit spoke with pride about how he had worshipped the Emperor each and every moment in his life, but when he mentioned the golden light for the Astronomicon, his voice quivered. When his guests left, he stared after them for a long time, his gaze filled with sadness. Okay. Alright, so there's a planet we can drop and extract in there. Also, we're scanning planets because the Mechanicus, the Explorators, are happy to pay us for them, and I need money for a heavy bolter. Captain, can I have money for a heavy bolter? Let's scan a planet. 0 resources. Okay, burning world, 50 done. Scan this one. Smuggler's cache and provisions. Let's grab the smuggler's cache. I love loot. Keep the medkits, everything else goes into cargo. Oh no, that's provisions. Provisions 5. Okay, so we can produce provisions from this planet. And this one is cargo. Okay. Now I have these 5 valuable extractums. Do I want to use them here? Adamantine sounds valuable, but I'm not sure about provisions, and I'm not sure, do these tick over? Do these get used up? Like, do I have income and I need to keep balance? Like, I'm not sure what the deal is. Alright, give me a second to think about it as to whether I want to drop some extractors down, and then... Oh, actually no, let's do the Hulk first. Then I want to head back to the Footfall and take credit for scanning new stuff. Drifting Void Ship. Hey, this is okay, this is somewhere we go. Who do we take? We'll take J. Cassia, Argenta, Pascal, and Perun. Adira, you're benched. Justa, you're benched because you're not meant to be core to the game, so J is the new you. Abelard or Heinrichs? I've spec'd them both to be basically the same. Nominate in your chat who's your biggest bro, but I have Close Combat Bro, Heinrichs, and Abelard. But I reckon let's bring Abelard along for this one. Okay, here we are, spooky void ship. Let's give Abelard a rank. Wasn't sure what I was going to give him. Like selfless resilience or punish the impudent. Enduring Shield is nice for Heinrichs. It could also be nice for Cassia. You know what? I'm going to think on that, Abelard. You're going to fight without your level up for the moment.
None shall
Let's explore this ship.
my way.
And by explore, I mean let's have Pascal try and... Oh, no, we can't get up there. Alright, well, we will find a way to get up there, and I will have my loot, and we will explore this ship. By the way, Pascal has been neatly respec'd, and we will see how in, hopefully, just a minute. Okay, I have found a mad tech priest. Pascal, if you would so mind. That's a problem. I mean, are you going to mind if we loot?
My Auspex has detected something.
Your Auspex has detected something. What has your Auspex detected? Trap. Where is the trap? Your player cannot see the trap. This thing is red. That bothers me. I'm considering shooting the tech priest. Oh, hold on. I saw... Oh, shit. I saw the 8-pointed star. Oh, and the Sinchi thing. Oh. Yeah, look. So this is all very haunted.
Let's make a deal.
Wait, this shoots in a... That's all freaking me out. So I'm not sure how this works, so...
Submit, and you'll die quickly.
Let's just...
Suits my purposes.
I'm just a little suspicious of this character.
Reduce the dust.
Okay, much better.
I won't tolerate weakness.
I'm a little less nervous that he's gonna, like, stab us in the back. Let's open the damage door. Geez, logic 45. Even with Pascal. Man, I might have to use another one in a moment, but, yeah. This is spooky. Okay, I found some more spooky traps and another mad tech priest, and again, I'm just gonna go with the cautionary approach of Abelard just checking if everything is okay. Abelard, can you just make sure everything's okay? Thank you. Okay. Pascal, could you please turn off the shocky stuff?
This explorator is blessed with multifunctionality.
Okay, apparently he can't turn them off because the cause is supernatural. Alright, so I'm going to have to navigate my people carefully around these sparky puddles. Give me a moment, because that might require me ungrouping. Okay, I'm turning off the power, having got our way through. Ooh, warp shittery. Oh, that is spooky. Actually, no, that's a 15% war test. I'm not sure I want that. Let's go goods. Mad Tech Priest. Don't like Mad Tech Priest.
Look no further.
Give me a sec. You know, even with the lights on, the sheer amount of chaos bullshit on this ship just makes me want to get back to my ship. Wish I had Heinrichs with me, and also wish I had Abelard back on the ship, so he could get the artillery decks ready. because we are going to have to...
Take a knee and
We're going to have to fight our way out, but what we're going to want to do is absolutely destroy this place. What have we got? 11 targets. Mad Technomats with sniper rifles. A Mad Magos with a plasma pistol and scrap code and all sorts of bad stuff. And then servitors that are basically meat bags that are between us and the high priority targets, with some interesting targets off to the right hand side, but I can't see a way to get down from there. So I think we rely on range to clear the Mad Logis and Servitor, and we just push straight down the center. It's that, or we put Abelard as the melee threat and try and get him in their face, but I don't see a reason to do that. Let me disperse, start the demolition. Okay, I'll admit, that caught me off guard with how much damage they were doing and Pascal going down. I think that was probably a bit lazy of me, and it caused by underestimating the opponent. It won't happen again. I was also trying to be fancy and show off Pascal's new shtick, which is great and all, but not a great way, not a great reason to play suboptimal in the first instance. So hopefully that's the messiest combat you see me do for a while. I don't need any of that. I'm also getting concerned that without any damage boosting abilities, the ability of people like Perun to contribute meaningfully to the group, I have enough plasma pistols, in terms of damage output is falling. And so it's more likely they're going to go more and more onto the buffs side. What did you find? Cassie spotted a trap. We can deal with that. Because we're going to get more and more damage coming out of, a little bit of damage out of Jay, but mostly damage coming out of Argenta, Cassia obviously, secondary damage coming out of Abelard, Pascal doing very little damage normally and a lot of damage when he's given momentum, because then he can put out 12 plasma shots. What he needs to do is get those plasma shots to be more damaging. There's a talent I can take, but I haven't quite unlocked it yet. Okay, I don't think we can leave yet, because apparently there is a giant door called the Main Computing Cathedral, covered in chaos stuff, that does not have Pascal happy. Pascal saying, my true flesh resonates with the machines in this abode. Their pain and madness interfere with the workings of my cranial circuitry and side mantle. Suboptimal but surmountable. Okay, so the others basically went nuts. Inspect the door mechanism, please. The door and its entire adjacent section of the bay have no power. There must be a backup. Yeah, I already turned it on. Thank you. Main Computing Cathedral. Okay. Mad Tech Priests. Magos Tiberius Mahala. Yo. In the name of the Emperor, what the hell is going on here? The air in the room permeated by a wild mixture of miasmas of both mechanical and biological. Oh, it's NBC environment. NBC environment. Blood rust, vomit, machine oil, excrement, kerosene. I'm still calling that an NBC environment. All these smells blended together into a stench. Magos Tiberius Mahala. So same rank as Pascal. Just as the air here is one mad tangle of odors, the device in front of you is a mismatch of wriggling wires and transplanted fragments. In all the clutter, one can almost miss the main component, a heavily augmented man whose upper body is embedded in the frame. I didn't miss him, I noticed him. Who are you, disturbing the peace of holy martyrs in the home of grief? What do you want? Well, so we got Law Warp, succeeded. The symbols of your brethren protect themselves are symbols of the chaos. Who are you? What are symbols of the ship? Interesting. It says, requires dogmatic follower. There's no fate more honourable than purgation through suffering in the name of faith, but you were deceived, servant of the Omnissiah. Your torment is not holding back the corruption, it is sustaining it. Then there's a coercion, which is you are being consumed by madness or worse, cast sorcery. Okay, so does he think he's doing the right thing? Your knowledge is lacking, Invader. Those secret holy symbols imparted to us by the Omnissiah. How else would my tech comrades have survived if not for their protection? So many of us were devoured by evil. Oh, he's so freaked out. He's so full of it. There's now, which means I now get a persuasion 5. Wake up, all the signs are clear as day. You and your brethren have fallen prey to the forces of chaos and you don't even realize it. And then this is dogmatic follower. I wonder if I get dogmatic points for that. I don't think so. Who are you? What happened to the ship? I've accepted a higher calling, the only one amongst my brethren to do so, as they keep the evil at bay with prayer and sacred symbols engraved on their yeah, oh man, okay, he's been fooled. I take this evil inside me, I imbibe it as one does water, but it can do me no harm, for I am the eye of sanctity, I am the sacred filter, the link that protects the other. This Pascal's calling bullshit. This statement is false. I'm registering corruption in this unit identical to the unit surrounding us. I'm registering a violation of the cleansing protocol, which dictates steering the ship into the heart of the nearest star for the purpose of cleansing annihilation. I'm registering betrayal of the sacred machine spirits placed in the charge of those weak in faith. Permission to use the sacred language has been revoked. Impurity will not be permitted to enter the pure speech of Binaric. Your mortal shell will soon exhaust its vile energies. I'm going to drop the persuasion option at this point. The man's eyes clear for a moment. They still lack understanding, but there is a hint of surprise. He slowly looks around the room, the ecstatic priest, his own mangled body. His vox hisses as if struggling to say something. Suddenly, the stench in the room is drowned out by a sharp, piercing smell of ozone and grease. You sense the nauseating atmosphere pervading the room has condensed into a single point of evil in the depths of the ship and is now hurtling towards you. Demon? Oh, yeah. We're looking at some Malotech. That is a warp-infused machine. A demon in an inanimate object. Forge Fiend. There you go. 331. Hit points, 6 deflection, 66 armor. Twin plasma weapons. When the creature suffers damage the first time in a round, it becomes enraged and strikes back after every additional attack suffered this round. So we can't just chain attack it with Cassia unless she is well tanked up. That said, I think the approach is still the same. We put Abelard in front of it, we provoke it, we tank it. Cassia and Argenta kill everything else for momentum, and then I think Cassia tanks it. Tanks the counterattacks, rather. Abelard's somewhere like here, so he can charge it from the side. Let me finish organising. Okay, here we go. I can dress everyone a little bit more together. And I'm going to brace for impact because we absolutely need the brace for impact. We also need to scatter. Now, there is absolutely no doubt here that what we want is we want the front line on it for the extra damage. Then we want this zone here because Abelard's going to walk into it and it's going to be his tanking. And the extra range damage is going to be over here, which will have as the zone that Argenta and Pascal operate in. Then, now Abelard, it's going to get enraged, but I think that's okay. Oh, wait, no, we need to taunt it. And we need a favor to enemy it. Hopefully he gets another turn soon and he can tank appropriately. Alright. Haroon.
I shall not fear.
Let's get Cassia going.
All too easy. Not a problem for me.
Because we are going to need the lady. Let's start by eliminating some of these targets. And for powerful single targets, she is the go. Man, that las weapon is just... Do we want to kill zone, or do we want to... We'll give this to Argenta so she can actually hit something, but I am... The ballistic skill on Perun is just getting a little bit low. Abelard now has what he'll need to tank, and this Servitor can go away. And then do we want to maybe Vok Abelard?
Tell me and it is done.
And we'll give Pascal this.
With the right incentive. Bloody throne.
Okay, that is an AoE. I wasn't aware that was an AoE. So we don't have J. And we've lost momentum as a result. We can deal with this. Abelard can go into this. Endure.
Indeed.
Thunderhammer.
Emperor, give me strength.
Yeah, I reckon it's time to nuke the field. Does a whole bunch of damage. He's now enraged. That's okay. Abelard can go into Endure. Are you already sworn enemy? Yes, you are. Let's go into
It will be done.
minus 50% damage from the next attack. Seems neat.
I will do my duty. To a target.
And we'll kill that guy with that. What we need is for all the non-Abelard people to move as far away from Abelard as possible. Analyze. Communion. Do that. Not that it benefits as much. The question is, do we want Argenta shooting when it will retaliate? I think the answer is probably no. I think the answer is we want to get within 2, 4,
I'll do it.
and then dash out of range. Because that's just not enough damage to justify. Cassia, however, can probably take a hit. So let's buff Perun. Get him 83 hit points. 85 damage to the Forge Fiend. I don't think the 5 to 8 damage... This is the thing, I'm not sure now that damaging is worth it for Perun. Should have done that the other order. But really, I'm just waiting to build momentum. Tanking like a boss, Abelard. Thank you very much. You were in high momentum, so let us do our classic jump. Perun gets the turn. Cassia gets the turn. Buff. Just squeeze it just a little bit higher. 59 to 122, 24 stacks of tactical advantage. Take the 80% damage boost. 133 to 144. Done. Evil. Great, the Magos is now waking up. He's realized that the giant demon tank thing was evil. That was evil incarnate, evil the corruption that watches us day and night. You have banished the evil, you tried to warn me, but I was deaf. The ship, Kiava Gamma, it followed us from there. Kiava Gamma, is that where the ship is from? Yes, this ship and the planet, the traitors among our brethren, tormenting the sacred mechanisms, letting corruption into their system, they have turned that which is holy into the unholy. They have set these new twisted machines on us, their tech comrades. We managed to flee, but one of the monsters found its way onto the ship. We fought. We cut off one module after another as one cuts away rotting flesh, but it follows. Its invisible influence, the corruption it exuded. This is shit, because this came from the planet that we're meant to go save at some point. It claimed us one by one. The crew were merely humans of flesh and blood. They were so weak, so succumbed so easily. We could not save them from the evil, so we gave the ship to the darkness among the stars. But the darkness came for us too. In this last module where we intended to make our stand. Then I sacrificed myself. I became a filter, a stopper against the corruption emanating from the machine. I succumbed. The corruption came for our souls, the corruption of Kiava Gamma, traitors, the fabricator censor, it all started with him. He was the one who let the taint into the sacred code. He was the one who doomed our brethren. He was the one who spawned the steel monstrosities in the furnace of our planet. Rest in peace, you will be avenged, or you have succumbed to chaos and paid for your weakness. Weakness. The flesh is weak, the spirit must be stronger, the spirit wheezing out of the machine to end dialogue. Alright, so he's gone, everyone's gone. And I'm going to do some very non-dignified looting. So, we got a level up, which is good. There was no extra really cool loot, which is bad, except for a nice new piece of armor. A light armor set with more, which gives bonuses to dodge and has more protection than normal. Did I not complete that mission? No? I mean, I'll go back and check. I think I got it, but yeah. The bad thing is that ship came from one of our worlds, and bad shit is clearly happening, which we already knew, but awful to be reminded of it. Okay, there didn't appear to be anything else that I could do, and there's nowhere else I can chart from here except for... hopefully revealing additional routes. Okay, I can warp travel to here, but it's going to be dangerous. I'm going to level up my characters and then make the jump.